So I gave my views on some of the points she made. One point I didn't talk about in the former video was her statement comparing her boarding school experience to Lord of the Flies.
But I was very far from home. I'd never been away from home before. And it was like Lord of the Flies. You know, the students were in control. We needed to look after the school grounds.
If you've read the novel, it's about some boys that got stranded in an island and a kind of jungle law took over. You know, the way civility broke down and then some boys just degenerated to violence, and it was very gritty. But she's now comparing that to her experience in Shagamu. I can say for a fact that there are boarding schools in Nigeria that it's like Lord of the Flies, especially boys' school. Like I have friends, I have family who have gone through, in short, till date, they are still trying to recover from what they went through in their boarding schools in the hands of other boys. So yes, it can be very, very much like Lord of the Flies, but it wasn't so in Shagamu. But there was a different set of rules that applied in the dormitory. Like there are rules: no bullying, no fagging, you do not bully your juniors and all that. But that's just lip service. Oh, we don't do that here, but it's a lie. When you pull the curtain aside, they do that there. There's some seniors that are so wicked. I'm certain that even till date, they should check them, see how they treat kids. Because for you to be able to behave like that to another human being just shows the extent of which you are rotten. And they may come and say, oh, we're treated the same way. That is a lie. I was bullied by my seniors, but I did not bully my juniors. There is no junior. I have no junior that can come out and say, oh, Precious, when you Precious and Kem bullied me in secondary school. I didn't even care about their existence. Mine was just hurry up and get out of this school. So I didn't even have time to bullying somebody's child. So what she said about Lord of the Flies, I am going to explain how it was the life living in with. Because if you say that there's their own rule. Like when you're in the dorm, there are no teachers, your matrons are not there. So you're staying with your seniors and they're the ones in charge. SS3 girls, SS2 girls are the ones in charge. When I was in junior secondary school, we had prefects, and those prefects are in SS3. The prefects will come over to junior hostel and man the place, like they oversee. Even though we had I call them monitors. I've forgotten the name they call it. Is it room head? Yes. But those prefects basically control, keep order in the hostels. And a lot of times, those seniors that they put in junior hostels were quite brutal. I would use one of my experiences, something I told myself I would never forget. So what seniors do is this: they are in charge of giving you portions of the hostel to clean. They're in charge of the dining hall. They're in charge of a lot of things. And this particular senior, I think she was a labor prefect. And when she came to the junior hostel, she was assigned to our room. I think we were in JSS3 then. So initially she was friendly. And because I'm a naturally suspicious person, I do not trust people that you just come to a place and then you know that there's an expected hierarchy, but you are just so friendly. So I looked at her friendliness through the lens of skepticism. I was like, nah, this cannot be. You're too nice. I don't believe you. Well, people used to enter because they had corners. There's something they call the corner. In your bunk, you have like a demarcation, a little space for yourself. So she had her corner. So sometimes you'll be gisting with her juniors. That's us in the room. She was in SS3, let's get that straight. And we were in GSS3. She was above us with like 3 classes. So in her corner then she'll be gisting them, and oh, she had lots of friends. Oh, gist me a movie. I never participated because I just kept sensing in my spirit, my soul, that this person is not a nice person. Something is off. So a certain night, some of her mates, because of sometimes the SS3 girls from their senior hostel, because of it's separated, you have the junior dorms and you have the senior dorms. So some of her mates came over to the room. I think there was a kind of crisis. Sometimes 2 classes may be fighting. So they came over to the room. She had water, drinking water, because you get to store water in canisters, in bottles. I think one of her mates came and drank her water. When she returned, she saw that her drinking water was not as she left it, and she accused us of drinking her water. Guys, get this. This is water. Water. Not as if it's her juice anybody drank. Even if we really did drink her water, it's just water. Look at what this spawn of Satan did. She made us kneel. It was it a Saturday? Yeah. On Saturday, she first gave us a massive, like a large portion of land to cut. As I was cutting it, I couldn't believe my eyes. I couldn't believe somebody would have the mind to give me this type of place to cut. So as I was cutting it, I was so pained. It was very, very difficult. These are elephant grasses. As you're holding it, if you hold it a certain way, it will slice your hand. It had this, it had barbs. So it was horrible that day. I remember I think it was after inspection, Saturday morning stroke noon. We were under the sun was getting hotter and hotter. We were just laboring. And when you are laboring and you see that this land, it looks like 2 days I can't finish this thing. And we're like 15 cutting that place. I remember a certain girl, I won't forget her name, Sherifat Yusuf, started speaking Yoruba, insulting her and all that. I can't understand Yoruba. I didn't know what she was saying, but she didn't know that this pound of Satan senior was coming from her back and was hearing everything she was saying. The way she bastardized this girl's body, the way she beat her, and she didn't even have mercy on us. Even as we were cutting the grasses, a snake slithered out of that land. Instead of her to have mercy on us and say, okay, no more cutting, you guys, it's okay, you guys have suffered enough. She gave us another part to cut, that there's no snake there. Why we cut it? We thought it was over. It wasn't over. Sunday, after service, she made all of us to kneel on the lawn, and our lawn is not smooth. It's not smooth, solid ground. Like, there are jagged stones, as in protruding from the earth. She made us kneel for hours. I remember her bunkmates. Her name was Bimbo, the nicest girl. She made Bimbo kneel in front of us. She was sitting across from us. She sat in a seat, folded her legs. She was with a book, reading. I don't know what she was reading. I hated her so much, God, with a burning passion. So she was reading, and Bimbo was kneeling behind her. And you just don't kneel. You lean with your arms spread, and she's watching you. She doesn't want to see that your arms go down. If your arms go down, they're going to wipe your arms. So you could see Bimbo ahead in front there. Bimbo was crying. Bimbo snorts, tears. I was fuming. I was so sick. My intense anger was too much for me to even sense that I was suffering. I just hated her so much. So she made us kneel there, and all that while I was boiling with hatred, disbelief that how can somebody be so cruel? And these are children. How old is that pound of Satan? I don't know. There's no way she would have been up to 18, higher 16 years old. And one thing I used to protect myself, actually, I was a snitch. And this is me advising anybody, anywhere you find yourself. You find yourself somewhere and you're being oppressed, and the people around you tell you, don't tell, don't report. Reject such reasoning. Report. If like be ostracized. There's nothing wrong with being ostracized, but you are being protected from bullying. All the seniors that used to bully me, if somebody beats me, I had a matron as a guardian. I would just run straight to my guardian and report the person with the names. I can remember a certain time they punished us. I think somebody pooped in the bathroom. These people made us to line up in the lawn. The first person would pull down their shirts, and the person in the back would sniff their ass. Like, I'm not kidding you. These are nasty, revolting punishment ideas that these children come up with. Until I left Shagamu, I never understood. My mind could never rationalize why you would do that to another human being. They made us line up. It was so humiliating. I think I was in JSS2. I just went to my guardian's house, and she asked me, is there anything you want to tell me? And I reported. I mentioned all the names of those people that did that to us. My mind, I'm like, I'm sure the person that even pooped there is not even us. It's one of you people. It's not us. So when I reported them, they now called me, is it true that I reported? I said, yes, I reported. At first, to be honest, I lied. I said, no, I didn't report it. I was like, ah. When they kept pressing, I said, yes, I reported. And since then, I noticed that the send me, come on, let me go and fetch water, reduced because of I will report you. I will report you. So they had a jungle law system there, and it is not conducive for learning. Why should I be going to school? I'm trying to read, and there's a fear hanging over my head. Will these seniors beat me? Oh, they're going to beat me today. Oh, they will punish me, because they do a lot of beating. And by the time they beat you, in Shagamu then, we had hangers, so these plastic hangers, and that's what they used to beat you. Sometimes they rush you, and they use like an animal, a vengeful animal full of rage, just rush you, wipe you. And your body develop welts, It's about welts that you can see blood, you can see liquid coming out, you can see fluid coming out of the welt. And these were other kids doing that to other kids. And you say that is a normal learning environment. That is not that is a place to create monsters. Sometimes I read these mirroring novels, and you see maybe the dark faction will go and take some children and just put them in a very harsh condition in order to bring the nastiness from them. That is exactly what that environment is. It's nothing cute. There is nothing that builds character about that. It just brings out the evil in children. So yeah, Kemi was correct. I do not know how wild it was in her time, but at my time, seniors were still crazy. And what I used to protect myself was to be a seasoned reporter. Reports. And that even followed me. I go somewhere, something is not working right, I will go and talk. I will talk. I will not be silent and allow, even though they don't do anything about it, let it be on record that Nkem said something. because of something wasn't working right. I've said all the bad, but let me talk about the good too. When I was sent to the school as a 10-year-old, I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to cook. I didn't know how to wash my clothes. I didn't know how to do nada. The house I was coming from, they were doing it for me. So the part about me taking care of my laundry, me taking care of my personal property, me taking care of my space, even me sweeping the classroom, sweeping the hostel, I won't complain about that. So I would appreciate, I appreciate the fact that being in Chagamu taught me how to take care of myself as a woman, to be able to clean myself, to be able to, just be hygienic, because of other girls are there. If you are dirty, you will. And my first 2 years in Shagamu, I really saw the brunt of it, because when you're used to people doing things for you and you go there on your own, you don't wash your clothes, you begin to look like a beggar, you begin to look disgusting. So you have to help yourself. So that I give it to them. I give it to them is good. I also give it to their education, the kind of teaching that I received, the kind of education that I received. It was good. Even interpersonal skills, I was able to make friends. I was able to even find myself to an extent. But going through that, the harsher part of it to me is it's unnecessary. And they should understand that those 6 years, like you're 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, they are formative years of a person's life. Who you are, who you turn out to be, there's some key things in your personality. It forms in those years. And when you will go through trauma over and over and over again, I mean, come on, it does something to you. Like for Kemi, I have my opinions about her, about the type of person she is, about how she's taking advantage of Nigeria's problem to promote her political ambitions. Those are the facts. She wouldn't even be able to use Nigeria as her slingshot and her spring or her own personal ambition if things were working right. The reason why things are not working right is because we have demoralizing institutions like where I went to. That's where you have a system where within an institution there is another governing law, and this thing infiltrates, it's spread, and it has corrupted all our other it has infected other institutions out there. So thank you so much for watching up to this point. Subscribe.